Hello, and welcome to a special edition of Up Close on METV. I'm Charles Clapsaddle, Station Manager for Manatee Educational Television. And with me on this special edition is the State College of Florida's President, Dr. Close Probstfeld. Dr. Probstfeld, thank you very much for joining us and taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk about the State College and your involvement.
It's my pleasure. Happy to be here. Anytime to talk about the college.
And we've got a lot of questions for you, and we want to talk a little bit about it. But before we start, let me begin by providing some background on President Probstfeld. Prior to her becoming the 6th president of the State College of Florida, Dr. Probstfeld held the office of the interim president while continuing to fill her role as vice president of business and administrative services. As part of her 16-year career in higher education, Dr. Probstfeld has served as a faculty member and an administrator for both small private institutions and larger public colleges, all with a proven record of success. And Dr. Probstfeld, you're bringing that record of success as president into the State College, and everybody in the community seems to be very excited about that. And one of the things that you've actually done is to outreach to the community in a wide variety of different aspects, both at the Tiger Bay and other community forums around town. Why is that important? And tell us why you're doing such a great job of community outreach.
Well, the State College of Florida has been in this community for 57 years. Actually, about 60 years ago, there were wise people in the area who decided that we needed a community college in this area, and the college was born 30 years ago in Venice and about 15 years ago in Lakewood Ranch. So we are the community. We are part of the community. And I've had a lot of wonderful advice telling me, say no to absolutely nothing. Make sure that any invitation I get to be in the public, that I take advantage of that opportunity, and that was great advice. When I heard the community listening sessions, when the community were involved in helping to identify what kind of characteristics we needed in a new president, that was one theme I heard over and over and over again, and it is so important. I've also found having the opportunity to get out in the community and talk to people that people want this college to be successful.
Absolutely.
And they feel very connected and very part of the State College of Florida, as does the college with the community. And making sure that that relationship is strong is so very important for our students, for our faculty, for our employees, for our community, for everybody in the area. So every chance I've had, from the Tiger Bay that's coming up in Venice, to the south side of our service district, to multiple events in Manatee County that I've had the opportunity to speak at, I relish every one and enjoy the opportunity to talk about the college and the great things that we're doing.
And you've had a tremendous reception as well from community leaders and community participants all over. And we've had the opportunity to tape you at a couple of these, and you're doing a wonderful job of talking about the State College. But one of the very first things that you did when you became president is to outreach to the University of South Florida and develop that process again. Tell us a little bit about that and the involvement with the University of South Florida.
Well, I'd like to take credit for the very first day having scheduled that meeting, but that meeting was actually scheduled in advance when I was the interim that you were describing. I knew it was important to reestablish that relationship, because the greatest part of what we do as the State College of Florida is our 2+2 transfer program, and USF is our greatest partner in that. And we needed to rebuild that relationship and put those parts back together. So I had organized this meeting with Dr. Guilford, and I can never say thank you to him enough when I realized this is my first day as the official president of State College of Florida. Is it okay to continue with this meeting, because I'll probably have some press with me? And he was very warm and welcoming and open to the idea. So he's been a good partner, and we have a lot of things that we're talking about. We just signed an agreement for our Artist to Teacher program, also known as PAINT, and there are many more to come.
And I think that was a great indicator of the great partnerships that the State College of Florida and USF and other institutions of higher learning are going to continue to develop. But one of the things that you mentioned as we talked about, the State College is really well known for its history of achievement. And one of the great things is the emphasis on academic excellence. And I know that's a key part and very important to you. Can you tell us a little bit about SEF's emphasis on academic excellence and some of the things that are going on right now?
I would love to. There's nothing I like to talk about more. One of the things that makes the community college a community college in the state of Florida is our open access. And that means any student who has a high school degree or a GED certificate can come to the State College of Florida. But that being said, the kind of students that we have, and we're very proud of it, our institution, our students, for example, who won the Model UN competition this year. In the southeast region of the United States, 70 colleges and universities, we took first place for our position paper on South Korea. That's a pretty impressive thing that we were able to accomplish. Our PBL, Phi Beta Lambda group, which is a kind of a business competition group, took first, second, and third place awards at the state competition.
That's pretty
this
impressive.
year. We had 2 out of 50 nationwide Coca-Cola scholars awarded this year came to the State College of Florida. And 3 out of 30 of the first all-academic team in the state of Florida came from the State College of Florida. Those are pretty amazing numbers. And one of the things I'm excited about for the future, our collegiate school right now is doing sort of mock Brain Bowl competitions. So I'm looking forward to when those young people come up and they get to be part of our college community, that I'm going to have a powerhouse Brain Bowl group, and I hope to win that competition someday.
Well, when that starts, you let us know. We'd be happy to kind of document that, because that's a really significant achievement. You know, and the collegiate school has already, you know, won accolades on its own for, you know, their high scores on FCAT and a significant amount of achievement within the collegiate school itself.
It's an amazing group of young people. We've had an A grade every year that the school's been in existence, and I just had the opportunity to go see them do the production of Footloose this week in conjunction with the college orchestra, who played as the music for them, and it was wonderful. They were wonderful. They sang, they danced, they acted their hearts out, and it was a wonderful production.
Well, we want to talk a lot about, you know, some of the great things that the college does outside in their arts programs and also their outreach. But one of the things that is really key to any school, whether a college or university, is the extent of the programs and the degrees that they offer. Now, the State College of Florida has, within the last year or two, has really developed a program for 4-year programs as a direct result of input from the community, workforce development. It's really a significant step for the State College to develop its own 4-year programs. The nursing program is another significant achievement. So tell us a little bit about those steps to broaden the scope of the State College.
Well, the development of baccalaureate programs is a very exhaustive process, but it's a good process. It starts with ideas brought to us by the community about needs that exist in the community that aren't being met. The nursing program is a good example. Then the next step in the process is we have to, of course, take that idea to the board and get their approval. Then we have to do the research. We have to identify, are there employers who will hire these students when they graduate? Are there students who want to take this program to fill these needs? So we have to show both need, demand, and desire on behalf of the students. We have to document that evidence. We do have to communicate with our other educational providers in the area to make sure there's no duplication going on.
And that's an important step.
It is important. There is not enough resources to go around for us to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. And then after all those pieces come together, we make an application to the Department of Ed. So the State Board of Education would take that application and review it and make a determination about whether we can go forward with the program.
And you have some very exciting 4-year programs that are developing. Can you tell us a little bit about some of them? Sure.
2 that really are high on my radar scope right now are Homeland Security. Because obviously the world we live in is a different world than it was 10 years ago. And International Business and Trade. And part of the International Business and Trade is a tract in marine industry management, and you know, watching what's happening with the Port of Manatee and anticipating what will be coming forth in that regard. This is a program that goes hand in hand with what they're trying to do there. And as a matter of fact, we'll be meeting with them shortly to talk about curriculum and how will we best be able to prepare students to meet the needs they're going to have.
And that's a very exciting possibility for the school to continue to grow those programs in a direct response to requests from the community. And as the community continues to grow, so will the State College.
And one of the interesting things about about our baccalaureate programs that you know, coming from the business side of the house, that I'm very enthusiastic about, is that those programs are growing right now. Quite frequently, the two-year programs have this counter-cyclical relationship with the economy, and when the economy improves, the demand for those tend to go down, but not at the baccalaureate level.
Good.
So being able to diversify the types of services and programs that we provide gives us a little bit of stability as an institution to weather those ups and downs in the economy.
And a broader base as well, you know, to offer, you know, the students that are coming through. We recently, and the State College of Florida recently held their spring commencement at the Van Wezel Performing Arts Center for the first time, and it was a wonderful event, standing room only, as they say. Friends and family were there, and a full class. You awarded a number of degrees in Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, but the actual number of participants there was extensive. Can you tell us a little bit about that graduation, how that made you feel, having all of your graduates walk across that stage?
Well, having that critical mass together in one place was just, to me, was special. To fill that entire room, the energy and the excitement and the love and the pride that we take in the students when they graduate, that for us at the college is the culmination of what we do. So that is the most warming feeling that we have, and it puts everybody sort of on that high at the end of the academic year. But what was particularly special this year is we had so many faculty who participated and were able to be on the stage, and they were in tiered seating, so they could actually see the students that they taught as they came across the stage. And the students had a nice long walk across the stage, so their moment in the sun was nice. And it's always a joy to stand there and watch them come toward me with the smiles on their faces and listen to their families cheering them on. It truly is a very special moment. And
having it at the Van Wezel added a little emphasis to it as well.
It does. It gives, you know, it sort of gives that extra little je ne sais quoi that makes it special for students. And it is more centrally located in the middle of our service district, because we have students who are graduating that spent their entire career with us at the Venice campus. As a matter of fact, our Outstanding Student Award winner at the lower division was from our Venice campus.
And let's talk a little bit about the campuses. You know, people are very familiar in this area, of course, with the Bradenton campus, and to a large degree with the Lakewood Ranch campus and the things that you offer. And let's talk a little bit, though, about the Venice campus. It's in a thriving community, a great turnout of students and everything. The Venice campus is really an effort on behalf of the State College to expand its reach. Is that correct?
Absolutely. To try and, the model of the State College or the community college system is to try and put a location within a reasonable driving distance of students all across Florida. In our area, not having a presence that far toward the south in the county that we served was really a detriment to the people in that area who wanted to get that education.
Exactly.
And being able to provide that campus has made a lot of difference in the lives of those young people who can take, as a matter of fact, they can take our entire nursing program is offered down there, and they can complete an AA degree down there. There's a lot of our new AS programs that are actually going on down there. And right now, one of our teachers won the Outstanding Teacher of the Year, or Educator of the Year, for Advanced Technology, and that is in our Engineering Technology program at the Venice campus.
Well, the Venice campus is a beautiful campus, kind of a pastoral setting, and it's not that far, from Bradenton. But the Bradenton campus itself is a beautiful campus. It's undergone some great renovations and new buildings and things. Tell us a little bit about the Bradenton campus. How many students are you serving there? Well,
about 75% of all the students that we serve are there. So it's about 75% of the over 16,000 students we see a year are at that campus. The interesting thing about the Bradenton campus is that as the oldest campus, it does have some of our older buildings, and we're making a concerted effort to try and give those buildings a little breath of fresh air. I think we all know once we get to be over 50, we require a little more care and maintenance, and our buildings are no different. And one of the things we're looking forward to is breaking ground on a new Building 9. Many people who have had a relationship with the State College of Florida as a student probably have set foot in Building 9. It is one of the oldest buildings on campus, and it's lived its useful life, and we're going to be replacing that building shortly. We'll be breaking ground, so we're kind of excited about that.
That's very exciting, but a lot of the things that have happened on campus, it's a beautiful campus, readily available, from in the area, for students. It's on a bus line for students to get back and forth from. But it's a beautiful campus with what I think is the key ingredient for any university or any college is a great faculty. And
Absolutely.
the faculty, not only the Venice campus, Braden campus, and Lakewood Ranch, is really a wonderful staff that you've assembled, and it has been assembled. Can you tell us a little bit about not only the importance of having a great faculty, but some of those key individuals that you want to give a little tip of the hat to?
Well, obviously our students couldn't achieve the success that they achieve without the faculty. That's really where it takes place. And one of the most recent numbers we found is about 90% of students and or their parents that are helping them make decisions about college make that decision based on a conversation with a faculty member. So those relationships are key. And it's those relationships that get students to come to the State College of Florida, to help them graduate from the State College of Florida. And interestingly enough, a lot of the faculty maintain those kind of connections and relationships with the students well after they leave the State College of Florida.
That's a great indicator of a good teacher.
It is. It really is. And some of them tell me stories about students coming up to them who remember them from 20 years ago. They don't necessarily remember the student, but the student remembers them. And that's the key. They've made a difference in the life of somebody, and that's what we do every day. We have one faculty member that was recently recognized at our board meeting for going that extra mile and taking on a student. He was a young basketball player for the college who was very confident and very good at what he did on the basketball court, but didn't have that same confidence and capability in the classroom. But over his 2-year time with the State College of Florida, she worked with him, and he graduated just this past May, or earlier this month, and that's the kind of effort that our faculty members put into their relationship with the students. But in addition to that, in terms of their academic excellence themselves, as I mentioned, we had Adrienne Gould-Charquette, who was recognized as Educator of the Year. And we have faculty members who are recognized in their discipline, not only within the state, but nationally, are asked to make presentations at various conferences and events. And they serve on advisory committees in our community. They're very active in the community because to them, that's just an extension of what we do. And at the heart of it, they're educators. And I think what makes our teachers or our faculty special is that they teach and they're passionate about teaching. If they wanted to do research or they wanted to publish, they would go get a job at a university. They're at the State College of Florida because they want to teach. They want that relationship with that student, and it shows. The proof is in the outcome.
And very much so. the educators that you have are long-term, dedicated, committed individuals who love what they're doing, And one of the things that I'd like for you to take a moment to talk about is that the college doesn't really end there with the classroom. The efforts on behalf of the State College can really transcend that. They're in the community, they're in the arts, they're in sports. There are a lot of things that are part of that larger community perspective. For example, the State College of Florida has a wonderful performing arts facility and a great staff of people that consistently are doing things not only in the performing arts, but also the visual arts as well. Can you talk a little bit about the arts portion of what the State College is doing?
No, absolutely. As I just mentioned, our Neal Performing Arts Center was home to our collegiate school performance of Footloose. During the course of the year, our students put on productions both there and in the smaller theater, the Black Box Theater. And the interesting thing that I don't think people know about those productions is the auditions are open to the community.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
As well as students, we have people from the community who can participate and be involved in those productions. We're very proud of our students. We have a couple now who are going on to the University of Tampa to continue studying in the area of theater. We also have our symphony. You heard our orchestra play at graduation.
Excellent performance.
Unbelievable. Their chops were a little tired at the end, playing March of the Nobles 4 or 5 times through, but they did a fine, fine job, and we're really looking forward to finding ways to showcase them. And my goal, one of the things I want to do is get people on campus, because I think a lot of people don't know what we have to offer, that we do have a jazz band, we have our choral group that's just unbelievable, and they do many performances on campus. As a matter of fact, this next week coming up in terms of the arts, we have a new art production or art show going on in our gallery on the Bradenton campus. campus.
Is that sponsored by Joseph Locasano?
Joseph Locasano.
And I saw the information on that, and it sounds wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about that art exhibit that's coming up?
Well, what I will tell you, to me, what's really fascinating about the art exhibit coming up is it's being displayed at just the perfect time, because we have the group of people coming to assess the college, because right now we're going through a process to try to get certified as a museum. And our goal or mission as that museum is to be the most innovative display of art in this area. Because we have art, if you've been, I know you've been, but if people have not been to our campus recently, you'll find we have art outside in the various areas of the campus. We have it inside in all of the various buildings, and then obviously the showcase is in the art gallery itself.
And we're very interested. We've worked with Mr. Locasano before, and he brings some really innovative and wonderful programs. But I want to go back for a moment to your music capabilities. Not only you have the full orchestra and your jazz band, and they do performances around the community as well as on campus, but you also have really talented faculty members. For example, Mr. Rex Willis, who's a guitar instructor and composer in his own right, brings a wonderful point of view to the music program.
Oh, we're very fortunate. We have Rex, we have Melody Dickerson, who is our choral director. We have Robin Wilkes, who is with our orchestra, and it's really their energy and their foresight and vision that has taken that program to the next level. And their expertise. Rex, as a matter of fact, we do a concert every year where he's the performer, and it draws quite a crowd.
And we've had the opportunity to tape that on a couple of occasions. But the wonderful thing about the college, too, is that within the college, you have the Heritage House. And it's a wonderful, and I would encourage anybody in the public who hasn't had an opportunity to visit that, to actually take a look at the Heritage House. And can you tell us a little bit about that and why it's important for the college to have that on campus?
Well, it's one of the only Black history museums in the area, and I think even in the country. One of the things that, and I can say that with a certain amount of authority, because in my prior job we tried to find help to value the collection, and it's very difficult to do that because it is unique. And having that on our campus provides an opportunity for young kids from schools all over the area to come visit us. People who, actually it's on the National Registry, so people who are interested in history in the state of Florida, this is one of the places they would be led to understand that history of the Black experience. We're just very proud to have it here, and part of our idea for where we go forward with our museum includes that.
That's a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful opportunity for the school as well as for Manatee County. But any college is always proud of its sports as well, which plays a very important part in any college development. State College of Florida is very fortunate. They've got a great sports tradition. Now, just recently, you were 2 games away from the Junior World Series, Junior College World Series. Is that correct?
That's correct. 1 game. Yeah. It was a heartbreaker. It came to the very last inning. So.
But the state college has always had a long tradition in baseball of being, a leader. And you're very fortunate. But you have a lot of great sports programs that are going on. Tell us a little bit about some of those things.
Well, just this year alone, our baseball team, our softball team, and our basketball team all went to the state conference championship. We were very proud of them. Can't say enough about our coaches, because their role is so varied. They're not just a coach. They're an academic advisor. They're a counselor, they're a parent in the absence of parents for many of these students who are living away from home. So they play a role, and they really do create a very tight-knit group of students and athletes that work together. And they get these athletes involved in community service as well. Our athletes, all part of their requirement, what their coaches have them do is go out and interact in the community and volunteer, raise money, as part of their academic year. So it's kind of an exciting thing. In addition to being athletically inclined, they're also socially inclined and involved in our community. And this year we had several that were recognized as academic scholars as well.
And I think that's just a true indicator of the value that the state colleges places on education and success as well. And I know that the athletes within a lot of the programs that you have, they'll go to schools, they'll go to boys and girls clubs and things, and just outreach in the community. And I think that's a great indicator of the leadership that your sports and the coaches have there.
Well, and in addition, on the athletic side, many of our players actually go on, play in college and in a four-year institution. Our women's softball team, our volleyball players, our basketball players, and our baseball players, and some of our baseball players have actually gone on to play in the major leagues. And every year we have our homecoming game, I guess you would call it, or our all-star game, where many of them come back and play, and it's always a very exciting time to have these folks back with us.
And it is, because over the years, the State College has sponsored a Hall of Fame where you recognize athletes that have gone on to great success in a variety of different sports, but their career began at the State College of Florida. And they remember, and we taped a couple of those events as well, and they remember starting off with the State College of Florida and remembering the success that the State College of Florida helped them achieve. So it's really a wonderful event. And some of these people, go back a few years, but they always remember their start at, whether it was at Manatee Junior College or the Manatee Community College, but they always speak very highly of the success that the college brought them.
They do, and people who are watching this program, I hope that they would take the opportunity to come out and see our athletes play, come out and watch our theater productions, come to a musical production, because these students are fantastic, and this is a gem in the community that we really want to get the word out and get more people to come and support these young people.
And I think too, between the sports and between the arts programs that you have, there's such it becomes a real magnet for a community to know that these services and these performances and these activities are available for them to participate in. But I want to go back a moment, if I may, and I want to talk a little bit about one of the programs that the State College has really been instrumental in, and that's in the School of Nursing. And the State College initiated a four-year degree, a BS in nursing, out at the Lakewood Ranch campus. It is a state-of-the-art facility. People from the entire area come to get their degree there. It really is a significant achievement for the college to have that level of nursing expertise. Can you tell us why that was important to develop that program?
Well, there was a lot of request in the community. We've been in the business of producing RNs for many, many years. And many hospitals now are looking for that next level of academic credential for their nurses, for the hospitals themselves to receive the type of credentialing or recognition that they want as a hospital. And so the demand was very, very large for us to find a way that we can give these nurses an opportunity to get that baccalaureate degree in the community. And there were opportunities where they could go outside the community to do that. But one thing we know is when students leave the area, they don't always come back. And so to be able to provide this in the community where we need these nurses so desperately was very important to the hospitals as well as the nurses themselves. And that program is probably one of the most well-supported programs we have by the community. The hospitals participated, helping us financially. Many foundations have helped us, and many individuals have helped us to endow nursing positions so we can make sure that we can continue to provide the service. We're very proud of our programs, our graduation rates and our success rates on licensure exams, and all of our health programs are very remarkable. 100%, nearly 100% consistently. So we're pretty proud of that.
And it is a great achievement, and having the opportunity to see the pinning ceremony for the nurses is very moving because these are people who have full-time jobs, they're working, and they're going to school full-time as well. So when they receive their pin as that RN, it's really a significant achievement. And again, the facility out there, the training facility that they have, is just world-class.
It is, and one of the nice things about that facility and where it's located in Lakewood Ranch is we also partner with LECOM so that their students can come over and use the simulation lab as well, and other providers in the community who come and use that lab. So we do try to to make it available because it is state-of-the-art, and to the extent that our healthcare providers are well-trained with the best equipment that they can be, that serves us all well.
And it's a wonderful facility, and just for the public to know, they have state-of-the-art patients, robotic patients that they'll give symptoms to, and then the students are asked to examine them, and it's really remarkable. It's something that that not a lot of schools have, but at the State College of Florida, it's a remarkable achievement.
It is, and the simulators are really fascinating.
They're
if you've not seen them in action, but one we actually have gives birth. We have an infant, and we have a young child, we have adults, we have older adults, and so it's kind of fascinating to watch simulate the different types of symptoms and watch the students respond. And then, of course, it's real time, so they may be responding to one symptom when another one presents itself. So it's
very
good
clever, and as I said, it's really state-of-the-art. Which kind of leads me to my next question, Dr. Probstfeld, is that the value of an education from the State College of Florida. The State College of Florida offers such a wide variety of degrees and opportunities. Let's talk about the value of that. I know that there's initiatives that the Florida legislature has talked about, specifically about certain degrees and areas where it's going to be a $10,000 degree. And that's kind of in the planning stages right now. But the value of an education from the State College of Florida is very reasonable. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. First off, one thing I'd like to clarify is there's a lot of discussion about $10,000 degree, but I'd like to remind people that about 96% of what we do is the two-year degree that's considerably less than $10,000.
Well,
that's really the four-year degree that is being referenced in that area. And regarding the four-year degree, we're looking at those programs where we may have the largest need right now. For example, international business and trade that I mentioned earlier. And what we want to try and do with that program is find a way to really embrace some of the major initiatives that we've heard are important to taxpayers, to the state, to students. Things like acceleration. So part of the program will be students have to have a certain number of accelerated credits to get into the program. Tells us a little bit about their motivation and their focus on their education. The second then would be academic excellence, that they have to maintain a certain GPA in that program to move forward and qualify for that $10,000 degree. And then the third would be persistence towards completion, that they are focused on a particular end. They're not necessarily the students who may be meandering around a bit to try and find out what they really want to do.
Exactly.
And so those three issues are very important, acceleration, academic excellence, and persistence. And it would be in the fourth year of that degree then that the tuition waiver or the scholarship would come in place so that their investment is capped at $10,000.
And that's an initiative that hopefully the State College is going to continue to explore and see what's possible. But one of the things that intrigues me, and I'd like you to take a few minutes about it, and you briefly touched on it, is how the State College looks at programs and develops programs for the future. Obviously, a huge emphasis in this community and many communities throughout the state is on workforce development. Creating jobs and having a workforce that can move into those positions. What is the State College doing, towards those ends, and what are some of the initiatives that you're taking?
Well, right now we have one of our provosts involved with the Chamber of Commerce and the EDCs in the South County area. I am involved with the Chamber of Commerce in the Sarasota area. We have another provost involved in the Manatee area, and we meet regularly to try and come up with, are we hearing the same things? What are people looking for? What's the community need? But we're trying to cross-section that with some empirical evidence that comes from the Council of 100, and to give some direction to make sure that we're not necessarily just chasing the latest idea, but these are really things that are founded in certain evidence that there are going to be jobs, that there are going to be jobs for a while, that it isn't just, we're going to create 10 graduates and that's going to fill the need.
Exactly.
So we're trying to be very cognizant of all those and put the pieces and parts together. We're working with the Sarasota Chamber right now on their P20 initiative to try and coordinate all of the different academic offerings and bring them together with businesses to understand what exactly we're looking for, how do we do it in a seamless way, and make sure that we're taking all the different types of issues into consideration, making the best decisions.
Right. So, and I think that's critical because that shows a real cooperation and a real listening to the community. As you mentioned at the very beginning, you're out there and you're listening to the community. Workforce development is a critical part of that community development.
And we've had a very strong workforce development program through Daisy Vulovich, who's been overseeing that, as well as our career and technical education. She too is one of these people that is just everywhere, and is part of that team that brings back this information that we will then try to put some meat to find out what do we need to be doing next. And clearly right now there's a lot of need, and a lot of that need would be things that we should be partnering with the MTIs and the SCTIs because they need these hard hands-on skills immediately. Yes. But the partner with the State College of Florida then allows them to continue and go on and get a degree. Exactly.
And one of the things that's kind of connected with that is that the college is involved in a program called CROP, or the College Reach Out Program, which really outreaches to young people in high school to encourage them to participate and to go on to college and to even apply to college. And that's kind of connect with the Summer Bridges program. And it's a wonderful program. It's an ongoing program that's been around for many years. Recently they did a CROP awards ceremony of all the people that have participated. Again, this is a great community outreach. And why are programs like that important?
Well, a lot of young people don't believe that college is within their reach. Actually, that was one of the original ideas behind the starting of our collegiate school, is that many young people about grade 6 decide whether they're going to be college material or not, and then behave accordingly as they move forward. And in this particular program, CROP and the Summer Bridge, these are young people that are almost completely done with their high school education, in many cases are, who've made a decision that maybe college isn't for them. Right. So we're trying to give them that opportunity to spend some time with us, to give them some of the skills they might need, show them what that experience is, and give them the confidence back that this is something that's within their reach, that they might be able to accomplish. And I think one of the most gratifying graduations, if you will, that I get to go to sometimes when I've been there is at the end of the year when the Summer Bridge students are graduating and have made the decision that in the fall they're going to become a student at the State College of Florida.
And sometimes these students are the first in their families to go on, and so it's really a rewarding experience for them. And the people that are involved in the Summer Bridge program, the CROP program, are consistently growing that program, so they're developing that outreach and that student development for the State College, which is a great achievement. Dr. Probstfeld, I'd like to kind of take a few minutes now, talk about what's next. What's next for the State College? As we've said, the Venice campus and Bradenton and the Lakewood Ranch campus, they're wonderful. They offer a wide variety of degrees and programs that are available. But as a leader, as a visionary, you're always you kind of have to keep an eye on the future. Where do you go? What are the vision that you have? But also, what are those challenges that you see?
Part of the vision for me would be to focus on that 95–96% of our business, which is the 2-year degree. Whether those are the workforce AS degrees to be responsive to those needs in our community, which are so important right now, or the AA transfer, and reestablish those relationships with our partners like USF, where we transfer those students to continue their education. I want to emphasize the High Five Summit that's coming up with the educational institutions in Manatee and Sarasota County. What we're trying to do is find out how do we create seamless opportunities for students to get the education that they want in the areas that they're looking for while staying in this community. Because again, we know if we can keep them here, they'll stay here and they'll be a part of our community going forward. So that's an important initiative that I want to focus on. I also want to focus on the student experience. Right now I want, to me the mantra has got to be the greatest challenge that a student faces is the challenge of learning in the classroom. Not all the things it takes to get there, the admission process, the financial aid process, buying books, all those things that are tangential to what goes on in the classroom have to happen, but we need to find a way to make them as seamless as possible. One of the exciting initiatives we're working on that we just started was a pilot project to eliminate textbooks. We have worked with the library and faculty. It was 14 faculty working with our library resource individuals to put together electronic learning objects. So starting in the fall, 1,200 students will have the opportunity to take classes where every piece of material they need will be available electronically. They don't need to buy any books.
It's pretty impressive.
Saving about $120,000 for those people, those students. And that's just the beginning. That's just the pilot. So once we see how this is going, we really want to expand that out and get to the point where the students don't have to be dependent on books, because we know right now that many students are making the choice not to buy the book because they're very expensive.
Exactly. What an exciting initiative that would be, to see how that would come out after you do your evaluation, to see if the State College can be on that cutting edge of exploring that completely digital education.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
It is exciting, and we're trying to make it platform neutral. So whether it's your smartphone, if you want to read on your smartphone, or it's an iPad or a tablet size or a laptop or a desktop computer, you can access this information from any one of the above.
Well, what about growth and development? Do you see opportunities to perhaps, seeing where the State College can fill needs in other parts of the area as well?
I do. I think, as I said at the beginning, 60 years ago, people had a vision, and we built a campus in the middle of what then was nothing in Bradenton, and 30 years ago in Venice, and even 15 years ago in Lakewood Ranch. We were out there by ourselves for a while. It's getting a little bit more populated now. But I think it's incumbent upon us to think about what's next, and where do we need to be next, and where's the growth happening in our service area, because again, we want students to be able to get an education within a reasonable distance from their home. So we're considering that, and we're looking at options right now on what that might be.
Well, Dr. Probstfeld, we're kind of winding down here a little bit, and I do want to again thank you for taking the time out of what is a very busy schedule to talk a little bit about this. And it seems to be a new day of outreach for the State College, a new day of developing partnerships, of outreaching to the community, and it's very important. It's all through to your leadership. But what are those key things that you want the community, your students, your staff and faculty to know about the State College?
I think the most important thing is that we have a very, very rich tradition of excellence. We have a very promising future, and that we have everything in the world to be proud of. When our students graduate from the State College of Florida, they can know that they're graduating from an excellent institution with outstanding faculty and support services that will get them where they need to go. And I think, again, the community has an institution to be proud of. It's a gem. And we want to do everything in our power to re-engage the community and get people back on our campuses to see what we have to offer.
Well, Dr. Probstfeld, thank you again. And perhaps down the line we can invite you back to talk about some of the other great things that are happening on the State College. Or perhaps even do a program on some of the faculty, the great faculty that you have there, and highlight some of the great people, not only here in the Braden and Lakewood Ranch campus, but also the Venice, so this community can know about the caliber and the expertise of the faculty that work at the State College of Florida.
I would love that opportunity.
Dr. Probstfeld, thank you again for joining us on this special edition, and thank you for sharing some of the great insight that you have on your leadership for the State College of Florida.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on this special edition of Up Close on METV. If you want to find out additional information about the State College, go to their website, scf.edu. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time on Up Close on METV.